Hey everyone, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So we are going to finally get to the bottom of this 3 days of darkness thing. No, I don't know that we're going to get to the bottom of it, but we're going to ask our spirit guides to tell us about it in a way that's in our best interest to know. Okay. So I have a feeling this is like one of those things. I don't know anything about it. So it's going to be really hard for me to ask follow-up questions. I might, depending on what the questions are. Okay. So, but I have a feeling this is not necessarily a right or wrong, just like a lot of spiritual stuff. So I would ask that if the responses feel good to you, then go with those responses. If any of the responses don't feel good to you, then don't go with those responses. Just like you would with anything that you're learning, anything you're exploring, anything somebody says, okay? Because that's what following your intuition is about, which is why I am not a proponent of saying there is a right and wrong way, unless you're dealing with, harming somebody or something like that. But when it comes to the spiritual journey, I prefer to believe that we are all being guided from our inner guidance, also our spirit guides, and we need to follow our inner guidance, and my inner guidance might be different than your inner guidance, okay? Which is why I'm trying very hard not to judge people on that. Here's an example. I just read a comment. It was about the law of challenge that I have used on this channel. If you're not sure what that is, I will post the video right here at the end of this video, okay? And someone had said, the law of challenge just doesn't feel right to them. And I said, fair enough. Like, I didn't say that, but I was like, you know what, that means that is not a good tool for you, but that doesn't mean it's not a good tool for other people. So that's where we just want to be careful. And I think we can work on, because this is how it's helping me work on being less judgmental towards others, just in general, because I'm learning more and more about the spiritual practice and letting people have their own spiritual practice, okay? So we're just here on this channel exploring different ideas. We're entertaining ourselves with new ideas, okay? All right, so I am going to ask the spirit guides. If you're new here, I do have a Start Here playlist that I will post right here at the end of this video. I would encourage you to go take a look at that because it'll give you more information about what I'm doing, okay? All right, so I have a little prayer. I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, and all of those of the purest and highest light. And I ask Archangel Michael to please protect our channel here, this community, as well as my channel, so that it is also of the purest and highest light. Amen. Okay, hello. So they're saying hello. So do you see the yes and no on here? Hopefully I'll remember to put it up. Sometimes I forget. So that's how you can follow. I will also say yes and no out loud, okay, in case you're driving or doing chores. All right, I just listened to a bunch of people while I was cleaning up the house, so. Okay, so you basically, I did a call out on the channel, which if you're subscribed and you hit notifications, you'll get notified when I put a post out to ask for questions about different topics. So there are 19 questions and not one of them is my question, okay? So these are all community questions. So if you're not subscribed, we would love it. We're trying to get to 50,000. Can you help us? That would be amazing. Of course, if you like this content, and if it's helpful for you. And so, yeah, I do call outs once a week, every other week, just with different topics. So you always get to ask your questions. If you have additional questions, if there's a lot of interest in this topic and then you have additional questions, you can just put them in the comments of this video. And if we have enough, we'll do a part 2. Okay. All right. So again, we have 19 questions. So I am going to ask my spirit guides. Hello, you guys. So would you please call upon all of the spirit teams of anyone who is watching this now and in the future? And collectively, would you please, are you comfortable giving us responses to the questions that are in front of me about the 3 days of darkness? Yes. Okay. So collectively, we would like, this is my ask. I'm talking to the community here. My ask is that they give us the information that they believe is in our best and highest interest to know right now, okay, about the 3 days of darkness. Is that a deal? Okay, yes. And if there's anything that you would think is not in our best interest, will you refrain from answering? Yes. Can you show them what a refrain from answering looks like? Okay, so they just basically stop. Okay. And sometimes they'll do yes and no, yes and no. It just depends on the situation. So yeah, like, okay, there they go. Yeah, yes and no. Now you might see, can you guys do like a yes, and then sometimes the left side moves a little bit. That is a clear yes to me. And I might go from one question to the next and they're still swinging. You just have to trust that I know the energy that I'm feeling, because, it's just, okay, so now they're saying no. They're just kind of showing you what a no looks like. Okay, so, and the right one looks like it's swinging too, doesn't it? But the left one's quite obvious. Now, I can feel it a little differently on my end. So that's why sometimes I'm in the flow and I just kind of keep going, and I'm not really paying attention to, because I'm reading the questions in front of me and I'm kind of thinking like where I want to go next. So I'm not always paying attention to what you're visually seeing. You just have to know that, the answer I'm giving you is the answer, regardless of what you're visually seeing. So I try to, if they're kind of swinging, the reason they're doing that, I know people have been here for a while here have heard me say this. If the energy is strong, the other one's moving a little bit. It's just like the wind moving something, right? So, let's just, yeah. So you'll just have to use it as that. Like if the wind was opened a door, the things around it might blow because the door had some vibration to it or something, it's the same kind of thing. So, okay, so 3 days of darkness. I think people in the community they've asked me to do this video, so that's why I did a call out. They've asked about this because there are several, I don't know how many. I've seen one person in particular talking about this, somebody who channels other spirits across the veil. And they've been talking about the 3 days of darkness. So I don't tend to watch very many videos about it. I just personally, I don't know. I heard it and then I don't know. I just didn't have any interest in it. Doesn't mean it's not interesting. I just haven't looked into it any further. So, okay. So 3 days of darkness. Let's go. So question number 1, does the idea of the 3 days of darkness come from mystics? Okay. The answer is no. Okay. So if yes, from thousands of years ago. Okay, so the idea of the 3 days of darkness comes from, if it's not mystics, who is it coming from? So this is where my follow-up questions, if I don't know a topic very well. Okay, so you guys are saying, I'm talking to the spirit guides, that the idea of 3 days of darkness does not come from mystics? That's correct. Okay. Number 2. Is the idea of the 3 days of darkness connected to Revelation 6:14? They're already saying yes, where the sky was rolled up like a scroll. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't come from mystics, it comes from the Bible, I guess is the right way to say that? Yes. Okay. Number 3, if it happens, will the 3 days of darkness be metaphorically darkness only? Yes. It's kind of was my sense when I even heard about it for the first time. Number 4, is the 3 days of darkness a reflection of human behavior? No. I'm just going to leap into something. Is the 3 days of darkness, the idea, metaphorically, is it a period of time where we're jumping timelines or switching timelines? Yes. Okay. And it's the time where we'll adjust, like it might take 3 days to adjust to the new timeline? Yes. Okay. Let's see. Is the 3 days? Okay. Number 5. Is it an emotional darkness? The 3 days of darkness. Oh, yes. Okay. Is it like a world mourning? A world in mourning? No. Okay. So emotional darkness would be like leaving the past behind and kind of like having to adjust for leaving, like like a little bit of a grieving, leaving the past behind. Okay, so first they said yes to leaving the past behind, and then they said no to the grieving part. Okay, so an emotional darkness, will it be all related to love? Yes. Is it related to fear at all? No. Okay. Is it so it's emotional because we have to adjust to maybe the strength of love we'll be feeling? Yes. Okay. So the increase of the vibration is getting higher on the planet. Is that my understanding? Yes. On Earth. Yep. And our bodies have to adjust. Is that correct? To the higher vibrations? Yes. And the 3 days of darkness, again, it's metaphorical. So will we actually feel a literal 3 days of darkness? Okay. And that is no. And that is actually question number 6. Will there be a literal darkness over the globe? No. And again, I don't know what other spiritual leaders are saying and what their guides are saying. So you just have to go. Remember, I've asked them to tell this community what is in our best interest. Okay. And I am a firm believer that they don't lie. So, and it's not that they would be lying, it's what's in our best interest. You have to interpret that the way you need to. Okay. All right. So, you guys, especially people who have heard about this, you put your perspectives of what you've learned in the comments because this is a community dialogue and I'm just facilitating this conversation. I don't have the answers for anything. I don't think any of us do. But what have you learned that other people in this community who are listening to this can explore on their own? If you could put some things in just in a kind way of what you've learned, that would be amazing in case other people want to learn more about it. Okay. All right. Number 7. Has the 3 days of darkness been avoided by appropriate change in behavior in the past? Yes. Really wide swing on that, which is interesting because it's like, well, are you guys calling it, is the spiritual, can't say the word today. Is it the other realm, your realm, that's calling it the 3 days of darkness? Oh, no. Well, where is that term coming from then, if it's not coming from you guys? Is it coming from a human being? Did the initial term come from someone, a humanoid, I guess is what humans? Okay. On Earth? Yes. Okay. Really wide swing on that, you guys. So again, I'm not saying people who have been channeling that are wrong at all. I'm not saying that at all. But it sounds like the term initially came from, and so then humans just kind of took that term and are using it now. Yes. Okay. And so then spirit, whoever's channeling about this, spirit is then using the term as well. Yes. Okay. Doesn't it seem like there should be a more positive way to say this? They're like, yes, yes. I mean, I think that's probably why I didn't want to keep listening about it because I'm like, I don't know. It just doesn't, 3 days of darkness, like that just doesn't feel that great, you know? Okay. Let's see. Number 8. If it happened, I kind of want to go back to number 7. Has the 3 days of darkness been avoided by appropriate change in behavior in the past? So the answer is yes, but that makes it sound like the 3 days of darkness is negative. Yes. So is the 3 days of darkness a negative experience? No, but let me ask this. Would it be for some people? Yes. Okay. And so does it have to do with 3D, 4D, 5D, that type of thing? Yes. Does it have to do with people who choose, because we all have free will, so spirits having a human experience, they choose to stay in the drama of the 3D? Is that who might experience the 3 days of darkness? Oh, okay. So yes. Okay. Again, just exploring ideas. You guys might be hearing totally different things from others, and that's great. Just take what feels good to you, okay? All right. So, 8. If it happens, will the 3 days of darkness be a manufactured emergency designed to create fear? They're already saying yes. That's interesting. Designed to create fear-based compliance. Yes. Is this going to happen as far as you can tell on the current timeline? No. Okay. So metaphorically, we are going to be making that shift though. Yes. Okay. Will there be a period of 3 days of darkness? So yes. Okay. If yes, will continually shifting energy with continually shifting energy, what is the percentage chance that this will happen? Again, metaphorically, right? It's metaphorical, right? Yes. Okay. Well, okay, let me put it this way. Those who don't want to stay, I think we have to separate now because I might have weeded out those who are going to stay in the 3D drama. Let's just say someone like F45, he probably would if he was still around. He may experience, that's what I'm hearing, he may experience the 3 days of darkness. But maybe if you don't want to stay, maybe we experience the 3 days of light. Let's ask that. I mean, let's turn this thing around, you know what I mean? And again, we manifest. We get to manifest what we want. It's kind of interesting that this 3 days of darkness has been planted in our consciousness because we get to manifest what we want. So just like we can shift timelines, we can shift things from happening in the world based on protests because that's an energy thing. It's the same thing with this. So it's kind of interesting. We maybe want to let's start talking about the 3 days of light. What if we did that? The 3 days of light. So will the folks who want to shift to the 4D, 5D, will it be a 3 days of light? Is that possible? Yes. Okay. So look at the wide swing on that. So is that a better term for a community like ours? Yes. Okay. Do we need to worry about those who have 3 days of darkness? No, because that is their choice, right? And their soul's choice. Yes. Okay. Is it likely that those who are in a community like this, who are on a spiritual journey, and whether they're just at the beginning or quite evolved, I've only been, well, it's another time for another story, another story for another time, but there are people in this community who are just kind of exploring this for the very first time. And then there are those who are have been really deep in this for a long, long time. And everybody in this community, everybody is welcome at all levels in this community. So, because there's always more to explore, right? So if it's likely that folks are in a community like this, not just this one in particular, but one like it, and feel comfortable, is it likely that we will experience, they're already answering yes, the 3 days of light? Okay, 3 days of lightness? No, 3 days of light. I like that way better, 3 days of light. Yes, yes, okay. All right, well, you guys let me know what you think about that. So let's go back to this question. Will there be a period of 3 days of darkness? So the answer is yes, there will. And will there be a period of 3 days of lightness? Yes. So yes to both. Okay, that makes more sense to me now because there's multiple things going on at the same time, Okay, so with continually shifting energy, what is the percentage chance that this is going to happen? The 3 days of darkness and lightness. And actually, will those happen at the same time? Ah, they will. Okay. Will those who experience the 3 days of light, Will we know that others are experiencing 3 days of dark? No. Okay. All right. And vice versa, will those experiencing 3 days of dark know that we're experiencing 3 days of light? No. Okay. So what is the percentage chance of this happening, let's say, in the next 5 years? Is there more than a 50% chance? Yes. Is it 100% chance that this will happen? Yes. Will it happen in the next 5 years? Yes. And that actually is the next question, number 10. Will the 3 days of darkness and light, we're going to do both now, happen? Has anybody else been hearing 3 days of light at all, or is that just something that came into my mind now? I'm just wondering if anyone's heard that. Look at me trying to flip the script. I'm learning something. Okay, so will there be, so number 10, will the 3 days of darkness and the 3 days of lightness happen between 2025 and 2029, at least on this current timeline? Yes. Will it happen in 2025? No. 2026? No. 2027? Yes. Okay, so, and can that shift? Yes. Okay, so about 2027, could move up to 2028. Is there any chance it will become sooner? Like, no? 2025, 2026? Okay, so you'll have to let me know, you guys, what you're hearing from other channels. And again, they could be right. We could all be right, actually. We could all be wrong, you know? Again, entertaining new ideas. Okay, number 11, will the darkness or the lightness be due to any of the following? 1, a wave of energy coming from outside of the solar system, like an exploding star taking down the grid. No. Okay. Will it be the darkness and lightness be because of a pole shift? No. Will it be a cause by a volcano? No. Will it be caused by earthquakes? No. Will it be caused by an astral impact? No. Will it be caused by Canada shutting down electricity to parts of the US? No. Will it be caused by an attack on the power grids? Yeah, because it's interesting because these are all based on, darkness, right? All those questions. And will it, I mean, all of those are basically more fear-based, I think, like things that can happen to us, physically. So an attack on the power grids, does that have to do with 3 days of darkness? No. And what about solar flares? No. So then about the solar flares, which I'm not really sure what solar flares are. I mean, I kind of get the concept, but if yes, does the solar flare carry with it a massive consciousness shifting love energy? No, but is that the reason? Yes. Is that, I haven't even asked, but they know what I'm going to ask. Is that the reason for the 3 days of darkness and the 3 days of light? Is it because of a massive consciousness shifting love energy? Yes. Okay. So it's interesting because that last one, it was connected to a solar flare. So it said, if yes, does the solar flare carry with it a massive consciousness? That's where I got that from, but I just disconnected it from the solar flare itself. So the reason we will have this, which I kind of asked earlier in the video, is because, but I like how this is stated here, a massive consciousness shifting love energy. Like, doesn't that just feel way better? Yes. Yes. And you know what? Frankly, I'd rather go spend my life thinking that's what's going to happen than thinking this 3 days of darkness is going to happen because of something weird. And if it happens, it happens. And at least you didn't spend your whole life thinking, like waiting for something like this, because waiting for something like that really changes the energy too. And it's manifesting it, and we don't want to manifest that. Okay, number 12. Will this 3 days of darkness and light event actually be longer than 3 days? No. Will it be shorter than 3 days? No. So there is something about 3 days, right? That seems to be accurate. um, well, let me ask, because I did ask whether, so it's 3 days, but so a human at some point named it 3 days of darkness, correct? Was it a human that is currently in spirit, in spirit form? Yes. Okay. And so that has to do with revelations then? Yes. And so the 3 days is correct. Yes. But it wasn't defined, it was defined a little too, or it's being defined a little too narrowly, like just darkness. Is that correct? Okay. All right. Okay, 13. Will the power grid come back on? Is the power grid off? I mean, I don't know. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, so this is assuming, I think, I mean, is this a separate question? Or is this assuming that the power grid went off and that's what's causing the 3 days of darkness? So I'm going to skip this question because I'm not quite sure if it's related to something we already said no to. Okay. All right, so number 14. Will the 3 days of darkness and the 3 days of light, will it affect the entire world? Yes. Okay. 15. Will this event harm people or animals? No. Will it affect all people and all animals? Yes. Okay. And so it's basically stay in the drama or move to a higher vibration. Is that really what this is about? Okay. Yes. And does this have anything to do with like what Diana Cooper has downloaded and written about and like Sterling? I'll post Sterling's channel down below. They talk about the Great Reset 2030 to 2050, basically. Yeah, okay, and it has to do with that. Yes, okay. All right, so just seeing we're making some connections here on that kind of stuff. Okay, 16. In order to move the Earth down into 3D after the fall of Atlantis. Okay, so we're kind of going back to the time of Atlantis. So Atlantis, if you're not familiar, was in 5D. And apparently it was a real thing. And so it fell, basically. Things started happening in a very basic way, like the higher vibration started to lower, basically, okay, and went to 3D. So in order to move the Earth down to 3D after the fall of Atlantis, is it true the Earth's rotation had to be changed? Oh, wow. Wow. Yes. Okay. Number 17. Are there galactic forces positioned in our atmosphere waiting for the solar flash and subsequent 3 days of darkness? No. Okay, so that's where the solar flash, so there's supposed to be like a solar flash. Is that what you guys are learning or people are learning? Oh, they're saying yes. Okay. So let me go back to that. Are you guys saying yes, that that's what people are referring to, a solar flash? Yes. And will there be a solar flash? No. Okay. I think some mediums are picking up that there will be a solar flash. Yes. Are they incorrect? No. Okay. Now where do you go from there? So some human beings will experience a solar flash. Yes. Will those who experience the solar flash be the ones who experience the 3 days of darkness? Ah, yes. So those who experience the 3 days of lightness, will there be a solar flash? No. Again, just entertaining ideas, you guys. Okay. Don't go back to those other channels and be like, Karen said. Please don't. Please don't. Again, let them explore the way they need to explore with their communities and trust that that community is hearing, unless you think somebody is a total scammer or something, you know. But let's not, let channels and communities explore, though, just like I want people to let our community explore the way that we want to explore here, okay? I don't want to be judgmental about that. Just take the information from both and make it fit what makes, like if your intuition, if your spirit guides are saying ding, 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 that's what they want. Like you actually feel good about what you're hearing here, but you don't feel as good about what you're hearing there. That's what you want to pay attention to. If it's the other way around and you're not feeling good about what you're hearing here, then pay attention to that, okay? Because that's your inner guidance speaking to you, okay? Okay, so let's go back to 17. Are there galactic forces positioned in our atmosphere waiting for the solar flash and subsequent days of darkness? So there are no galactic forces waiting for that. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, so they just did say no, and then they answered yes. So the follow-up question was, if yes, is this so the Earth's rotation can be corrected? Will the Earth's rotation be corrected for us to go? Well, it needs to shift. Oh, it will. Okay. Yes. Is that what will happen during this 3-day period? Oh, yes. But those with a higher vibration will not have to be in maybe a sleep. Is that okay? Because I'm assuming the darkness is just like we're going to be sleeping. So those who have a higher vibration will not even really, it won't even really affect them. Is that correct? Yes. I don't know. Would you guys rather be asleep or? Well, here's the thing. Like, I mean, if the 3 days of lightness, if we're going through the 3 days of light and there are people around us going through the 3 days of darkness, my human mind can't, like, I don't want to see somebody sleeping for 3 days and I'm like carrying along with my, I don't know. I can't, like, my little human pea brain can't get around that. So we'll just wait and see what happens. Okay. So it does have to do with the Earth's rotation. Oh, you guys, whoever asked these questions, you got it. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Is this correction so we can move into the golden future? Oh, okay. Wide swing on that. All right. 18. Is this an accurate description of the event, the 3 days of darkness? Okay. I'm going to read this to you guys. Okay. Yes. Okay. Hang on. All right. This will be a time when those who embrace enlightenment go into a sort of cocoon created by the angels. Let's just take it one little step at a time. Okay. Yes. During this time, we are upgraded in many ways and separated from our karma. Won't that be nice? Yes. Okay. We will emerge with a newly activated fragment of our higher self, allowing us more capabilities and knowledge. Yes. Okay. So, is that an accurate description of the 3 days of darkness? Yeah. So, and the 3 days of lightness? Yes. So both things are going to happen, just at different levels, maybe? Yes. Okay. So it just depends on where somebody's vibration is. Oh, yes. Okay. So the rest of this all will be preceded by the big flash of light, which will be a solar event. So they keep saying no to that. So I don't know, what that's about. Harmful to no one, accessible to everyone. Yes. This light will bring the earth and all humans up to a higher vibration. So, okay, they're saying no. So this light will bring the earth and some humans. Yes. Okay. So they weren't fitting everybody into that. So it's based on it's free will. Okay. All human. So it'll bring is it safe to say the majority of humans? Yes. Okay, so the majority of humans. So I don't, do any of us here have to worry about being left behind? I'm putting in quotes. No. Okay. Okay. So the majority of humans, so this light will bring the earth and the majority of humans, I'm changing the language, up to a higher vibration. Yes. So that even our lowest vibration, we will still be in a higher active, octave. How do you say that again? Octave. Sorry, I haven't seen that word for a while. So that even at our lowest vibration, we will still be in a higher octave of existence. Yes. So those who experience like the darkness and they have a lower vibration, they also will have a higher they will also have a higher vibration than they did before. Yes. At that point, will they get to choose, like at that point, like they still have a choice to go to the higher vibration? Yes. Okay, that's cool. All right. Number 19, is there any reason to be fearful or anxious about this 3 days? No. Okay. Are you all preparing us for this idea as we go forward over the next couple years? Yes. Is that why it is getting brought up to some mediums to be talking about this? Yes. Okay. All right. Amazing. Okay, you guys, so let us know if you have any other questions. That was very interesting. I found that very interesting. So, all right, maybe we'll see you tomorrow at Coffee with Karen. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.